Hi there and welcome. If you're new, if you are tagging along on this journey with me, welcome back to Solely Creations. My name is Isenia. Here on my channel, we plan, we get organized, budget, we cash plan, and we cash stuff. If those are things that interest you, I really hope that you follow along for more. Hi there and welcome. Here we are together again, and for today's video we're going to be doing a budget with me. Also going to be doing a cash planning to kick off our cash stuffing, so super excited about that. I hope that everyone is doing well and enjoying the week so far. It is going by really quickly. We're already at Friday and I am not as prepared as I am. I don't feel prepared for the end of the week, which is odd. I think it's just going too quickly, but I hope that yours is going great and a little bit more smoother than mine. We're gonna get right into it in our budget, and we are planning for pay period 1. We've already got, I have the IOUs done. So we just gotta put together the bills and then calculate our totals. I found this cute mini clipboard, which I love, and it fits better with the size inserts. Okay. But also, part of the appeal is that it's see-through so that you can see my cozy bags, which I love so far, to keep the planners in them for the dust, to keep off the dust, but also they look really cute in them. It makes me want to crawl in there with them. Okay, so we're gonna start off. So again, I'm gonna go through and write down bills, totals, what we need to pay, and then what's different about this one is we're going to include the cash stuffing to figure out how much we're gonna have, and then we'll use those totals to put in or plan for how much we're going to put in the envelopes, which I'll do in another video. So we'll start off with mine here. The nice thing about pay period 1 is there's not a lot of payments that are due, and they're smaller amounts, which is nice. So it feels like we have more left over with pay period 1. At least that's what it typically feels like. But we are still getting accustomed to our income changes, so I don't think that that will be as stable as it has been. We have to get used to the excess, and then whatever our losses are, and then kind of make up for those too. So stuff to get used to. Okay, so I'll leave these 2 blank for the credit, and then look at me, I ended up writing big. Oh geez. My business insurance finally went up. And then save that for the total of IOUs. And then same thing for the hubby. Give or take his sole payment obligations, like his credit, his car payment, which we calculate and we put everything in the pool. But it's different. That's the ways that it's different from mine. So that's why I do 2 different boxes, just so I can keep everything straight, to make sure that we're not missing anything, any of the payments that need to be made that are separate from what we pay together, that are getting paid. We talked to our pest guy. We go through Truly Nolan about the rattlesnake. I didn't think that he would be able to do anything. I mean, he's a bug guy. But I told him what we found in our backyard, and he was shocked. He doesn't hear about that or see that as often as you would think for Arizona. But after doing his like routine inspection and things, he didn't say anything about it, so I'm assuming he wasn't able to do anything. But we also have, for some reason, we have a big ant problem. We've actually got 2 ant colonies working their way through the yard. And I feel really bad for the dogs when they're out there, because they're probably getting bit. So I try to keep them inside as much as possible, or at least I have been up until he came. So hopefully he got those sorted out. We've had a lot of rain in the last few days, so I haven't really been out there to really look. But hopefully they are moving on. Okay, so we've got totals, and then I'll just need to go through and work through what's going to be left over, and then we'll be able to plan how much we're going to do towards the cash stuffing. Let's see, for budget goals, I'm going to have to look at the prior week to see what I said to remember, but I'll have that too, so I will be right back with that. Okay, so we got our cash stuffing goals planned, and then our budget goals. So just confirming that we are going to be doing the cash stuffing starting this month, which that's awesome because that's what we planned for. We got our IOUs paid in full, nothing to forward. Some reminders, there are going to be 3 pay periods in the month of August, so that's nice. And then some changes related to my full-time job. So for cash stuffing goals, we are going to be prioritizing the 100 envelope and 52 week. And we're going to be contributing, we don't have a lot to work with this pay period, which is okay. I always say we save as much as we can, and in the end it'll add up. but that we're going to contribute as much as we can in as many envelopes as we can. So the total that we have to work with this pay period is $260. And then we're restabilizing as far as income. And then once that stabilizes, I'm going to reanalyze the cash envelope minimums that I had when I first started this. So these were the totals at minimum that I would want to put into each binder. And so there's 5 of the small binders, and then I've made a 100 envelope and 52 week binder. So I would want to put 100 into our family goals, 40 into our celebrations, 60 into our challenges, 100 into our personal, and then 100 in our long term. And then for the 100 envelope and 52 week, it would just be as far as like what rotation for the 52 week. There was a specific rotation, which this has changed, and I'll show you. Or it's the same that I talked about in my introduction, but it did change. Before it was random amounts to equal a certain amount. Now it's just each week for the dollar amount. So the first week $1, the second week $2, the third week $3. So that's how that has changed. And then the 100 envelope is just dependent on what I try to do is do the at least one small amount and then one high amount. And if I can't do that, then I look for something in the middle, which is a happy compromise there. So with a 100 envelope, it just depends on what's coming next to fill in each envelope. So this I'll reanalyze once our income restabilizes, which I'm hoping won't be too long. But again, any amount that we can save, any amount that you can set aside is going to make a difference in the long run, and it all adds up. And that's the great thing about this system, is that you don't have to put a whole lot of money away. It's better to start small because you know that you're definitely not going to need that. Then start big and then realize that you aim too high and then have to take it out. And then it's just that, you know, that mess of you transfer $1,000 into your savings account and then end up having to transfer it back for whatever emergency happens. So that's also something that I'm taking into consideration. Now this is, the envelope system is in addition to what we already save. So we have the month ahead savings, the 6 month ahead savings, our emergency savings, our girl savings, our investments. There are things that are, because we've been saving, I'm a big saver. This is something that I've prioritized my whole life. The envelope system is going to be in addition to that. So we're going to work to totals and then add those totals into what we have saved, whether it's going to be contributed to our month ahead, into investments for the girls, however I want to do it, traveling. There are specific categories that I'm saving for, and these envelopes are going to help get towards there. So that's how this is working for me. It's adding to my savings, building my savings, growing my savings more than what banks are giving right now as far as interest, or with the high risk of investing in certain things, going different routes. This is a comfy place for me because I still feel in control over finances, and that's super important for me. So $260 is going to be our total to plan for. So we've got our budget done. We'll put that back. And now we can use our cash planning inserts. They're so pretty. They're smaller because the ones that I was using, again, you know, fit on a notebook size. So they're smaller, they look more appealing in that sense to use. So I've been counting down the days to finally get to use this insert. So it says, I'll show you if you can't remember what that looks like. Cash planning up at the top, savings goals, and then it lists all of the different, let me see, make sure I'm in view here. So it lists all of the different envelopes for each of the binders. So it goes family goals, celebrations, challenges, or the 100 envelope 52 week, personal, and then our long term. And then on the back is where I'll do the totals, the denominations that I'll need. And then once we get into doing the actual cash stuffing, I'll put in the balance of each envelope to keep a running balance total to help with, you know, getting to those savings amounts, the savings goals. I can always keep in mind, and then how much I need to unstuff once we get to those totals. And then that's what's down at the bottom, the unstuffing. And I'll just list whatever's going to come out and put the total, and then do the cash stuffing to take it back to the bank to put wherever we want it to go. Okay. So we're just gonna go down the line here. We're not gonna contribute to every envelope, but we're gonna try to prioritize as many as we can and put as, even if it's a little bit. So the family goals is the one thing that I like to make sure I put a certain amount in, just because that's where all the big things are. So vacation is gonna get 10 this pay period. Emergency 10, and our main savings 10. And that'll be pretty consistent unless we get a little bit extra to play with. Then these may get more in the future. Funny money will get 5, and we use that for fun spending. My husband likes to play video games, like PlayStation games, Xbox games. I like to play computer games. So our funny money, that's what that contributes to. Whenever there's like a game that either of us want, we'll take it out of the funny money. Cars will get 5, and that's anything related to cars. It could be maintenance, new tires, anything that we need to fix, repair, gas, anything related to the car. That's where we'll pull from. Home is gonna get 5, and that's anything related to the home. If we need decor, if we need new sheets, new bedding, curtains. I like to change out curtains and throw pillows and throw blankets and things with each season. So that's typically where I'll take that from. Pets will get 5. Anything that they need, food, treats, toys, gifts, spoilings. If we want to take them to get some ice cream, it'll come out of there. Miscellaneous is gonna be a wild card, and I say that because miscellaneous has a roll the dice challenge. So I'll roll the dice, however much I get, I will put into that envelope. So let me get the dice. All right, so we got our dice, and miscellaneous is random things. could be a pot to take out if, say, we need to make up for something for the pets. We can also take it out of the miscellaneous. If we need extra for groceries, we can take it out of miscellaneous. It's kind of a buffer for these specific envelopes in our family goals binder. So I will roll, and it's up to 6, so that means it's up to $6. And we get 5. So we put $5 in miscellaneous, and we'll do that each pay period. And then groceries gets 15. Now for groceries, this is something that we will build to. We'll each pay period add dollar amounts, but it's not money that we're using for our upcoming grocery haul. The goal of this is to get a pool going so that when it comes time, say 2 months from now, 3 months from now, once we get to a certain amount, we already have our groceries money set aside, so we can start pulling from there and then consistently putting more money. So as we're taking it out, we're putting it back in, so it's a constant flow. That is what I try to do with all of our savings, with our month ahead, with our mate, with our emergency. That's the constant thing that I like to do. If I'm gonna take some from it, that means that some has to keep coming back. And that's where I came up with that IOU ideal. So once we get to a certain amount, and I haven't planned, I don't have a dollar amount in mind yet. Once I get to a dollar amount where I feel comfortable with groceries being so expensive and then changing, everything seems to get more and more expensive. Once I feel like it's evening out, or if it's just going to keep getting expensive, we'll figure it out then. But once we get to an amount and I can kind of guess and calculate how much we're really going to need for upcoming months, then that's the total that I'll say, okay, that's good. And then we can start pulling from it, but we're going to keep contributing to it. I hope that makes sense. So New Year's, Valentine's Day, and 4th of July have all passed. So these are considered little priority holidays. We're not going to contribute anything to those, but we are going to contribute to Halloween. So Halloween will get 5. Thanksgiving will get 10. Christmas will get 10. The girls will each get 5, so 10. And then this is just to go towards their main savings. Oh, I'm sorry. Their birthday. That's their birthday envelope. The girls' savings will also get 10. And that's to go towards their main savings. My husband will get 5 to go towards his savings, and then for his birthday, 5, so a total of 10 for him. Our anniversary will get 5. Nothing for gifts. So right now, with the total that we have, we do have an off amount of $3. So I'm gonna put 3. But I also was so I rounded the miscellaneous up to 6 because that's the max that I could have rolled. So this may be 4, but I'm just gonna put 3 plus, and then whatever we have excess will go towards the dollar buffer. And then for that one, that's just a collection of ones. And then as it fills, then I'll take it out. And it could be a monthly thing. It could just be until the envelope gets too full. And then I'll unstuff it. 5s, 10s, and 15s will get 5. And we're gonna go down to the season. So we're still in summer, so we're still gonna contribute to the summer season. So we're gonna put 5. So those are the envelopes that we're gonna prioritize so far. All right, 100 envelope is going to get, so I calculated to fill the 35 envelope and then the 1. So that's a total of 36 going towards the 100 envelope. And then the 52 week, we're going to do the first week, which is 1. So that's a total of 37 between the 100 envelope and the 52 week. And then for the personal, my spending will get 5, my husband will get 5, and then the girls each will get 5. And then this is going to be the same concept. We're going to keep contributing to these amounts, and then once we get to an amount where we're comfortable with, then we can pull for it and use it for whatever frivolous spending we want. But then knowing more is coming, we're going to keep contributing. So as we're taking it out, we're putting it back in. So it's a constant flow. There is no set dollar amount for that. Once I feel comfortable, I think once I look at it and see it and start adding totals, then I'll come up with an amount and say, yes, okay, now we can start pulling from it. If something comes that we want to spend on, okay, this is how much you have in your spending. You can use it and then keep contributing to it so that you fill it or refill it. Let's see, we're gonna go to caffeine. Coffee is always a priority. I don't know if I mentioned this, but the husband and I are addicted to Dutch Bros. That's our vice. So that will always be a priority to us. And then we're gonna go down to planner. Planner will get 5. And that's anything planner related. Anything for my personal planners, anything that I use to make for planner things, pens, stickers, new paper, anything I need related to planner will come out of here. And I hope I'm making sense when I'm explaining this, that you're catching on, that we contribute once we get to a certain amount, then I pull from it. And then we're gonna go to long term. Now these are the things that will, the majority is gonna either go to our main savings or for something that's important, but we're planning for in the long term. So piggy bank is gonna be something that goes towards our main savings. So that's gonna get 5. Rainy day will get 5. For rainy day, that's anything that happens that we don't expect. Something comes up, an emergency comes up, we need to travel, we need to do something, take the girls to the emergency room, anything around those types of situations. That's where we'll take out of rainy day. Monthly, we're in the month of August, so that has a monthly challenge, which you'll get to see once we do the actual cash stuffing. So monthly we'll get 9, I believe that's the first number. And then we'll go down to subscriptions, we'll get 5. And the point of subscriptions is to create the pool to get the total amount of that's owed for the next year's subscription. For example, car registration. That's something that we pay annually. We want to have that amount ready for the next year's payment. So we'll contribute. We have got our total of subscriptions, which I think I have in here. Where are we? Yeah. So we've got our list of subscriptions. So this is where this comes into play. Listed out when they're due. What's the total? So that's how much we have to save for this year to be able to pay for it next year. Taxes will get 5. That's just something that we have to prioritize. And that's not to say that we're gonna owe anything, but to be prepared to have a buffer to use, because I already calculate taxes, I take taxes out. But in the event that I'm not calculating it correctly, or maybe I didn't calculate something that I was supposed to, we'll have a buffer to be able to contribute towards taxes. gonna get to electronics. We'll get 5. And that can go towards any type of electronic need, whether it be to replace our computers, whether it be a console that my husband wants to get, some sort of gaming thing that maybe we want to get the girls. That'll all come out of electronics. Phones, if we need to replace our phones. Our backyard is a big priority right now, so we'll add 5 to that one. And then month ahead, 5. So for what we're already contributing, whether it be small or not, when it comes to rounding up those totals for the budget, we're also contributing a certain amount to our month ahead with each pay period. And the whole goal is to just keep putting, keep adding, keep contributing, keep building that pool so that we always have something to pull from in the event that something happens that will be a month, something that's temporary, right? Something that will get resolved in a month, but we've already got our month expenses paid for. So that's where that's priority goes to. And then we're going to contribute to, so I just added these bachelorette, wedding, and honeymoon. My husband and I are already married. We did a courthouse wedding, and that just suited us. We didn't really want anything big. We didn't, it was just something that we wanted to do, keep it personal between us and a couple of witnesses. But in 10 years, we're planning to renew our vows. So when that comes, we want to be able to have a pool to be able to pay for our wedding ceremony or wedding reception, and do that as freely as we want, whether we want to keep it small, which, knowing me, yeah, it'll probably be small, like a backyard little get-together type thing. But to be able to have a pool to pull from in 10 years to prepare for that. And then I added bachelorette and honeymoon because I didn't have a bachelorette party. I didn't get to hang out with my girls before I got married, so it's something that I want to plan for. And then honeymoon, you know, once the girls get to a certain age where we feel comfortable leaving them with grandma and grandpa, or, you know, for a weekend or a few days for us to go camping for a weekend, go travel as far as we want, maybe visit where my husband is from, and do a little honeymoon where it's just us, where we get to focus on us and celebrate our marriage that we didn't get to do the first go. So that's why I added those. But we're only going to contribute to wedding today. Alright, so totals. Now we're going to calculate and make sure. So we had $260 as our total, or the amount that we have to contribute towards our envelopes. So $260, and we'll just go down the line here. 10, 20, 30, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 15, 5, 10, 20, 30, 40, 5, 10, 15, 8, 5, 6, 37, 5, 10, 15, 20, 20, 30, 35, 40, 9, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, and 30. So look at that. Exactly $1, which was from the miscellaneous roll. So we're going to actually add $4 to our dollar buffer. Awesome. Okay. So now we know we're working with what we're working with, which is $260. And then now we're going to go through and plan denominations. So this will be pretty simple considering they're lower amounts. We'll need a 10 and just go down the line here. And I do tally marks just because I feel like that's easier to count and stay when confirming my totals. So 10 and a 1. 10, 10, 10, 5s. So 4 1s, a 5. This will be, so 35, 20, 30, and a 5, and then a 1 for the 1. A 1 for 52 weeks. 5. Keeping it simple when I first go around with you guys. I hope this doesn't get too complex in the future. I mean I do, because obviously I want to save as much as possible, but once we get to those higher amounts, if we do, fingers crossed, that'll be fun. Say 5 and then 4 to make 9. Lots of 5s. And then a 5. So then you just go down the line here, how many of each denomination. So 1s, we're going to need 1, plus 4 is 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So 11 1s. 5s, we're going to need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. I think. I'm gonna triple check that really quick. Okay, yeah, so I knew something was wrong right off the bat, so I got that corrected. I put a 1 instead of a 5 for my groceries for 10 and 15. And then for the girls, I do 5s because there's 2 separate envelopes for each thing, and then each of them get $10. So I prefer to do 5s for those. So it's actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32. Yes, that is correct. Well, there's going to be boo-boos down the line. We're dealing with numbers. So 32. And then it'll be 10 and 1s. Okay. Back on track. 10s, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 is correct. And then it should be 120 for the 100 envelopes. Yep. 120. So then we just calculate the totals of the denominations. So that's $10. That's 160 in 5s, 70 in 10s, and then 20 in 1s to make a total of 260. So 20 plus 70 plus 160 plus 10. Yep, 260. Cool. Numbers can be fun. And then what we'll do is I have this little fancy teller slip that I've got a couple different versions of it. This is regular 3mm lamination on regular copy paper. And then I also have one that's vellum, so it's sort of transparent. And then I have paper versions for when I don't want to use lamination. But I do prefer the lamination just because you write it and then you erase it when you need to reuse it. And I think that just saves paper. I use a lot of paper as it is. So this is what I'll take to the teller when I'm asking for the specific denominations that I need. So I need 10 ones. I need 32 fives, 7 tens, and 1 20. For a total of 260. And these teller slips are so helpful, and I can speak from experience. Anytime a client would come in and ask for money, and it would be in specific denominations or higher amounts that they need specific denominations, it helps not only you feel confident that your teller is going to give you the right amount of money, but it also makes the teller feel a lot comfortable knowing that they have something to work with in addition to their systems, because they're also, you know, tallying it and calculating it. But then this also helps with them balancing, and the more exact that they are with the denominations that they give out to customers, the more exact they can get when it comes to out of balances. They'll be able to look at each transaction and say, yes, I gave Mr. Smith this, you know, specific amount, and no, the breakdown was correct. It's easier to balance because then they can go and count, okay, at the end of the night, if I started with 50 tens and I only have 20 tens now, where's the difference? And then they go and they look at the denominations and base it off that. So it helps when finding outages. So if you're taking a teller quantity slip to them, 100% they're grateful, because you're helping them more than you know. Balancing was always a fun thing working for a bank, and the systems have, you know, they've evolved. The systems used to be really bad, where, you know, you had to essentially work with a black screen and you had to punch in specific codes to be able to do what you were wanting to do. And, you know, 15 years, they've evolved, they've changed. Just when, you know, I was working 3 or 4 times, they advanced. So they're learning from their mistakes, but, you know, you learn with mistakes, right? You try to improve based off of the number of outages that you have. But they have gotten so much better, because now it's, you know, you have to go through a screen to get to the next screen. You have to count this total before you can get to the next screen. You have to confirm this total before you can get to the next screen. So their systems have definitely evolved. But this helps a lot, because then they don't have to sit here and ask you 100 million times, okay, you said 10 tens? You said 10 ones? How many did you need? You put this in front of them, they know exactly what they need, what you need, and then they can get it for you and count it out that way. So it's definitely helpful. So I like this idea, and we'll continue to do that. So I'll take this I'll put this in my wallet and take that to the bank for the withdrawal. So we are done with the budget. We've got our envelope amounts planned. And when we come back together again, we will be doing our first cash stuffing. So as always, I hope you enjoy what you see. Anything you want to talk about, the comments are always open. And if you want to continue on this journey with me, I hope you consider subscribing. Until next time, guys. Bye.